Hello, everyone. This is the Midnight Monologue, back after quite the hiatus. So here's some updates, and the hiatus is due to some of these updates. But where are you at in life now, Rochelle?
Well, we got married.
We did get
for
married.
one.
Yes. Nick Miller now. Yeah.
And then I started vet school. We moved to Madison, Wisconsin, which we love so far.
Yeah, so far it's really good.
Yeah. That's like major updates, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, did you say vet school? Did I not hear that?
I
Okay.
said vet school.
I don't know. I was like, that's a pretty big update. You're just glossing over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about also, let's see, other big updates? Not many for right now.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. What did you just do over the last 2 nights though, as a nocturnal owl?
So right now in Madison, Wisconsin, the World Dairy Expo is happening. And I like thought to myself, so this is actually an elective for vet school that you can take. And I thought to myself, you know what? I haven't really worked with cows ever. Like not really at all. And you know what would be a good idea? To just go in and see 3,000 at once and work with them overnight while I'm doing classes in the day, and that'll be great. So that's what I did. So last night and the night before, I was working at the World Dairy Expo and checking in cows, basically making sure that their health certificates were all correct and up to date and everything, and then giving the cows a once over and making sure that they weren't potentially bringing in anything contagious that they could spread to the other cows, because like I said, there's like 3,000 coming. So
There's so many cows.
Yeah.
From like how many, like, are they all from Wisconsin?
No, they're from like all over. There's I guess I don't know like if there's any from overseas, but there's some from Canada. There's some from a bunch of different states.
Other countries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, World Dairy Expo.
Well, there must be some from different continents then.
I don't know.
How would they call it the World Dairy Expo? If there's not one from, you need one from China, you need one from everywhere. You need one from Australia.
They have to pay to ship the cows.
Are there cows? There's cows in China because they have like the Wagyu beef, but are there cows in Australia?
I don't know. They're like different kind of cows though. Like when you go to different places, they all look kind of different. You can tell it's a cow, but
1 second back, we almost glossed over one thing. Have you seen the video, both viewers and my wonderful wife here, the video of the people racing? They're on pedal bikes, they're racing like in full racing gear, and I think they're in Australia, and a kangaroo runs across the road, jumps and head kicks one of them off his bike. The one that was in the lead, the kangaroo said, "You will not win. You have not been blessed by the kangaroo."
Today.
And then second place guy just kept pedaling right past and won it.
You gotta at least pull over. That's kind of
Kangaroo power.
Not good sportsmanship there.
Yeah, I remember that Jack Black movie.
Kung Fu Panda?
No, is the Kung Fu Panda one with the kangaroo? I don't think so. Not Kung Fu Panda, not the animated one.
Something Jack, right?
Yeah,
Kangaroo
Jack. Yeah, and then it's like they box with the kangaroo.
I don't know if I've seen like parts.
The kangaroo is the main boxer, isn't
That
he?
brings me back.
Isn't the kangaroo like the boxer?
I haven't actually seen all of that movie, I don't think. And if I did, I was like 5.
I think the kangaroo is like the main boxer. It's basically like Rocky, if Rocky was a kangaroo, right?
I just said I haven't seen the movie, but yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So World Dairy, lots of cows. Is it only cows, or is there other stuff? Is there cheese?
Yeah, I mean, there's other things there, but I've never been like I've been in the sense that I was working there, but the expo hasn't started yet. So it starts tomorrow, and we're both going.
We are, and I've never seen 3,000 cows in my life. I don't know if I've ever seen 100 cows in my life.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's gonna be exciting. They have free milk there, I've heard. So
I wonder if it's like free Like it's illegal to have unpasteurized milk, right?
No, it's not. It's like pasture. It's like in a carton.
Oh,
They're
okay.
not just like milk in the
Well, I know
cows.
it's 3,000 gallons. It's the World Dairy Festival. You know?
I mean, they could, but yeah, no. No, they're not doing that. But it was so cool because like the cows come in and they're traveling from all over the world. And so they get here and they've been in a big truck for hours and they're looking kind of tired and you can tell that they just like want to get out, want to walk around. And then I've been able to see some of them. So I saw them like arrive. And then since I work 2 nights now, I got to see them like being freshened up. And so they're outside.
What does that mean? Wait, freshened up.
Well,
They're like spritzing the
actually, I
cows?
found
Like,
out
what's
that
happening?
freshen is like a term for something about cows. It has to do with like, I'm gonna get this wrong, but I think it has to do with like giving birth. So that's not what I'm talking about. If anybody knows about cows, it's not what I'm referring to. I just meant freshened up as in like they're outside and they have some hoses and they're like scrubbing their cows, making them look all nice.
Do the cows like it?
I don't know.
Mm.
They don't seem like upset by it. They're just kind of chilling.
Well, do they
Cows pretty
seem-
much just like eat and sleep. Like they just like eat all day.
Yeah. Do you think they eat all day because of like the species they are, or because that's sort of what we have programmed them to do?
No, I think it's because of the species that they are. Like their digestive system is interesting. Like they're eating like, oh, I can't remember what this professor of mine said, but it's something like, maybe I'm gonna get this wrong. It's like they eat 1/3 of the day or something. They digest 1/3 of the day, and by that I mean like they're chewing their cud. So I guess I think it's cud that they call it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know nothing about cows.
Do you remember in like high school
Mm-hmm.
when you would go and they would have you go on a field trip to some place and they'd have the cow with you could reach into its feel inside it or something.
Into the rumen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what that thing is called. We were talking about this the other day, but
It's like on the side of the cow, right?
mhm,
And
the
they're like
little hole into the
surgical. I always felt slightly more than slightly. I don't know. I was never happy for the cow.
I don't know if
they-
they really noticed.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's interesting because you would think they would, but I don't think they do.
What do they do with the cow? Like, does that cow have a full lifespan?
I think so. Like for
'Cause
example,
you can't
that's-
like leave it in the field, right? It's gonna get an infection.
I don't know how it works.
Hmm.
But if you think about it, like your digestive system is technically outside of your body. You know how we
the
like
whole
when
like
we
donut
the
thing?
donut,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I just like breathed in dust, dying over here.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
We got a dust.
But I don't even know what you said.
We're talking about how the digestive system is
Oh
like
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of the donut
So I
and
feel
maybe they
like
don't care.
you wouldn't get infection bad.
Well, they went through the side of you though.
Yeah, but they have it like they have stuff around it, around the sides.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know how he got there. All the way to
Kind of
this,
with the cows.
the cow rumen thing. But yeah, in other countries, they don't have pasteurized milk. Like I think in other countries, they still have like someone who comes to your door with glass milk cartons every couple days.
Do you know the glass milk?
Was that a song?
No.
What are you talking about?
Do you know the Muffin Man?
That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah, just
From Shrek.
twisted in it.
Isn't it in Shrek with the Muffin Man?
It's in a lot of things, but it is in Shrek.
Yeah, that was a very interesting part of Shrek. When they like baked the Cookie Man and then he got out and he was all upset. That was like a pretty dark part of the Shrek movies.
It's probably the darkest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty? That's like the
Really,
darkest
like,
part of the
yeah,
Shrek movies.
Shaking off the cookie legs.
Oh yeah.
Walking
With
up
the-
in front of him.
Didn't they do the
yeah.
milk thing too, where they soaked them in milk or
Mhm.
something? Man,
Gingy. No way. No way.
some brutal parts of Shrek there. My gosh. Just wow.
Yeah. But the World Dairy Expo so far has been a lot of fun, and we're excited to actually attend when the show is going on.
I hope there's cheese.
There's probably
But there's
It's
free milk?
Wisconsin.
Is it like all you can drink milk?
I don't know.
because it's not, I gotta pay to get in, right? It's $15.
For you.
Well, yeah, she likes to rub it in my face, but she put the time in.
Yeah, I did. I put too much time. Tired.
But I really
got
like
sleep.
milk.
I know you do.
So if there's free all you can drink milk,
Yeah.
we might be doing the gallon challenge.
Oh goodness, no. That's
You can do it. I've done it before.
good for you.
You just have to do you do half of it at the beginning of the hour, and then you chillax for 50 minutes, and then you do the other half of it in the last 5 minutes.
I think I would not. It would not end well for me.
It's probably not that bad. It's like
As
4
someone who
glasses.
like barely drank actual milk, I think I don't think
You're an almond milker.
I am. Yeah.
Wonder how they do that. Squeeze all these almonds.
They don't squeeze them. They like
You don't squeeze them?
no, oh my gosh. I looked up how to do it one time because I was like, oh, maybe it'll be cheaper.
To make our own almond milk?
It's not cheaper, it's much more expensive.
I'm
Like,
sure.
you gotta like it's something about like you soak it in water and then I think you might blend it.
So is it mostly
I don't
water
know.
then?
I think so.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's move on to several other topics.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, we're gonna go. Now there's a trail right by this apartment nearby, and it's pretty long. It's like hour and a half walk, 45-minute run if you're running at a good speed. Those are just guesstimates, but I think that's about right. And I've been going on it with our dog Scooby, who has been in earlier episodes and you were all familiar with. And yes, he's back there. He's on the couch. I think.
See him? No.
They're not gonna be
No
able
way.
to see him.
No way. Okay.
One day won't see him anyways.
Worth a shot.
But anyhow, if anyone has played the game God of War, if you haven't, no one will get this reference. But one way to figure it out is just to watch the God of War trailer, the first one at like E3. But in any sense, that's how I feel every time I run, because it's, in North Dakota, there's not a lot of trees, not a lot of leaves happening in fall. Fall is short. It's not, the weeks that it is here. So running through there, he's running, there's birds chirping and everything. There's animals running around. Today, we went on it today. Guess what me and him saw today? We saw a hawk hunting a squirrel.
No, yeah.
Right in
That's
front of us.
intense.
Yeah. And we saved the squirrel's life.
Wow.
Scooby was trying to kill the squirrel, but ended up saving the squirrel because Scooby is much less lethal than a hawk. And the hawk was not aware of this and flew away because it was frightened by the competition.
Scooby almost caught a bird the other day too.
Did he? He's getting quick.
He's
Because I've
getting
been letting
pretty
him.
quick,
I've been
yeah.
letting him go, like
Oh,
get
really?
closer.
I like fake him out. I let him get close and then I feel bad right at the last second.
He never
So I
gets
don't
close
let
enough
him
for me to worry.
Oh, really? Well, this one was kind of a sad
A wounded
situation. 'cause-
bird?
No, it wasn't wounded, but it was right by a fence.
Oh,
And so it couldn't really like get away. So that's why I was like, nah, Scooby, you can't go.
yeah.
But at first I let him run towards it and I was like, wait, no.
And then today, a couple of walnuts fell from one of the trees, and he got so perplexed. They like fell and they hit the ground. And it was like boom, boom, and then he like turned around real quick.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't go. He was staring over there. And I said, "Let's go check it out." So I brought him over there, and he's all looking. And there's walnuts everywhere because there's like thousands of walnuts on this trail. And so he obviously didn't notice them. But then we left. And what's interesting though is the trail is on the same part where I kind of rambled a lot. So let's go back. It reminds me of the God of War game because in one particular instance, God of War, which is in the trailer, they're carrying a boar through all of these beautiful trees, and it's fall-like, and it's red trees with red leaves falling, and it really looks and reminds me, it makes me feel how I feel when I'm running through there and there's leaves falling, you hear birds and everything. But the interesting part of this trail is that it's in the opposite. The trail goes like this. I mean, that's a vast simplification, but it goes in this direction. And then there's a disc golf course that runs in this direction. So as you see, for some portions of the trail, you're dodging frisbees. Scooby's trying to get the frisbees. Other people are hoping Scooby doesn't get their frisbees. And it's a big event. And then you say, you know, I really think maybe they should have had the trail and the disc golf course go in the same direction. And then the disc golfers agree. And then we politely continue on. That's what happens. Yeah. But he's doing real good.
Scooby?
Yeah, he's getting close.
The first time that we took him out there was so annoying. I haven't been out there after the first time because I've been too busy with school. But the first time we took him out there, he like loves sniffing trees and he kept trying to get into things. We were like, I don't know if there's anything poisonous here because we're not like native Wisconsiners, so we weren't really sure about the native plants. But so he like wouldn't go with us when we were walking and he kept pulling because he was so excited. And oh, it was a rough time. So I'm glad that he's improved.
Yeah.
It's good.
He's gotten a lot better.
Oof, I'm falling asleep over here. I haven't recovered from my overnight
man.
shifts. I'm like,
We'll have to go
really
through the rest
intensely.
of our topics then real quick. Like,
Yeah. Well, we were going to talk about understanding other people's points of view.
yeah. So something that I have realized is that I think a lot of people, when they go into a conversation, this is unconscious, but I think they end up trying to defend their point of view. And when you're trying to defend your point of view, you put a wall up, right? So you have a wall around your mind essentially. And anyone else trying to talk to you or figure out what your point of view is, let's say, it's very hard because there's a wall up. So all the, let's say you shoot a little arrow of inquiry in there, like, you know, wall, boom, and then it goes on and on. And I think when you talk and both people have their walls up, nothing's happening. You know, you're both just sitting in your castle, there's walls.
Throwing rocks
Yeah.
over the wall.
Yeah.
And
Nothing's going on. There's someone like on a tree and they're like, what's happening? And they think it's a humorous situation or something, but nothing happens. So I think really what the goal or what really helps is if you go into conversations, not thinking it's hard because it's unconscious, but not defending your point of view, but trying to figure out what the other person's point of view is. And this takes quite a bit longer because it's much harder to understand someone else's point of view than to simply defend your own point of view. Because you already know what your point of view is.
yeah, I think the hard part about that is that it kind of has to be in one direction at a time.
Yeah,
Like you have to,
take turns
you know what I
almost.
mean? Yeah. So I would be like, oh, what's your point of view? And then I would just have to listen and ask you questions and then we could switch.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, but
Takes longer, but I think it's worth it. Because I think that way you can actually change your own view for one. You're not sitting in your castle. You're actually out there talking to people, so to speak. You can change your view, but then also you can actually understand where someone else is. And that's really what a goal is. Because oftentimes if you both are in your castle, you leave having just wasted a whole bunch of time. You have no idea what happened. You're like, I don't know what's going on. I was just in my castle. I know that what I believe is this. I don't really know what they believe.
something that happens a lot is that I don't really participate in a lot of this. I'm more like, I just kind of observe for the most part. And I'll see people talking and they're like arguing, right? Because they're both being super defensive. But if you're paying attention to what both people are saying, they're saying the exact same thing. And they're like fighting about it. So I'm just in the background.
The
like,
castle
giggling to
walls.
myself. Yeah, they can't hear.
Yeah, they're behind thick brick walls. They don't know what's going down. They're just hearing rocks when they say, oh, I heard a rock. I got to throw a rock. And then in between the two castles, there's a big pile of pebbles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slowly building.
that's all that happened.
Yeah.
All right, what else are we going to talk about?
I don't know.
We were going to talk about this. We'll have to talk about this in another time. Rochelle doesn't play that many video games, so it's going to be a couple times maybe. But Rochelle plays Fortnite, Trine 4, Trine.
Which we're not gonna be able to play probably.
Was Trine Ubisoft? Someone in the comments put this if China was Ubisoft.
Thousands of viewers.
Yes, with our 0 viewers, with our no viewers. Sure. I'll look it up and put it in the
Oh my
comments.
goodness. I need water. I'll be like right
Here,
back.
you want some?
After that one experience, I will never take water from you.
Maybe you should tell the crowd about that
I don't
experience.
think so. Maybe another time.
Maybe another time. You'll be guessing
But
then.
tell them about Stadia.
Oh yeah. So everyone, with the massive success that Stadia was, they all already know what Stadia is. So I don't have to go over what it really is. I'm just joking. Not a very successful thing, although I really wanted it to be. So Stadia is, or was rather, Google's version of GeForce Now. Essentially, slight tweaks. Basically, it's cloud gaming. So you know how before, and a lot of people sometimes, us, when you had DVDs and you'd go and you buy a DVD and you'd own the DVD and you have to buy a DVD player and put it in the DVD player and play it. And then Netflix came around and they had DVDs for a while, but then they had digital. And then you didn't have to have a DVD player. You just had a TV. And then they essentially, I mean, they didn't actually have a DVD player, but they had the file and they loaded the file on a server and streamed it over the internet. So Stadia was Google's version of that, but with gaming. So they would have the file of the game in a server, and then they would stream it over the internet through an optimized process only possible really by Google in terms of how flawless it was. It really felt very similar to just gaming in a native feed just on local hardware. So they did that, but they used Linux. And the reason they use, do you know what Linux is?
I feel like you're getting too deep into this
Too deep?
explanation.
No, here's the
Very
thing.
complex.
Linux is an open source version operating system. So it's not Microsoft, it's not Apple, right? And the reason that Google did that is because since it's open source, they don't have to pay any licensing fees when they use Linux. Otherwise, they'd have to pay Microsoft, or in the very unlikely scenario that they would use iOS or Apple, they'd have to pay Apple. So they use Linux. But because of that, any game that were to be running on Stadia had to be ported, or the code had to be changed so it could run on Linux first. And that was an expensive product. And really the value proposition wasn't there because Stadia, being a new product, didn't have many people on it. Now, I played it for a long time. Other people played it, but it was a rare thing if you took the whole population of gamers. So wasn't going very well. It's been around for 3 years, I think, roughly. Google then puts out a big statement saying we're closing Stadia. It didn't perform how we wanted it to. So that was interesting. It wasn't out of the, well, it kind of was out of the blue.
Well, at least we felt that, but we're kind of out of the loop, I feel like.
Well, no,
We're
because
busy.
2 days before they did that, the Stadia team released a whole new UI, or user interface, brand new interface. Plus, there were many games currently being developed for it, and many game developers had just noted that their next version of games were going to be on Stadia. Like the new Assassin's Creed was going to be on Stadia, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. And several things. One, Google did say everyone will get full refunds of everything they ever bought related to Google Stadia through Google. So any controllers that they purchased, they'll get a refund for. Any games they bought on Stadia, they'll get a refund for. They won't be able to keep the games except in one scenario that is actually not due to Google. So that's a pretty good refund just from Google's standpoint, getting everybody everything back essentially. But Ubisoft, who's a game developer, makes Assassin's Creed, I believe Trine, City of Light, many other games, Far Cry. They said everyone that bought their games on Stadia, they will give them the game for free that they bought on Stadia for PC, but you'll still get it refunded.
So we could get Trine for free?
If it's Ubisoft, which I think it is, but big question mark. All right, that was the Stadia story.
Yeah, I think that's all of our topics.
Okay, well, it was the Midnight Monologue.
At 7:04 p.m.
Well, no, it's a
signing off.
secret. It would be midnight.
Oh yeah, it's midnight.
Yeah, it's midnight.
They don't know our windows aren't open.
Yeah,
Our
exactly. It's
blinds.
dark
You
outside.
can't see.
All right. Thank you all so much. Have a nice night. Goodbye and good night once I figure out how to end the video. Bye.